A local historian has been honoured with an international prize. Toitu Otago Settlers Museum curator Sean Brosnahan has been given the Polish Gold Cross of Merit, and he joins us to talk about it. Good evening.
Good evening.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Why have you been honoured?
Well, it's really a lovely gesture from the Polish Heritage Society here in Dunedin who nominated me for the award. And it's, I suppose, in recognition of the years we've worked together to present stories from the Polish heritage of Otago and Southland to our visitors at the museum.
What is the significance of this award?
Well, the significance of it, I suppose, is just the liveliness of Polish cultural expression in Otago in recent years, expressed through the Polish Heritage Society and often culminating in exhibitions and shows at the museum. We've had a lot of public programs, we've had a lot of exhibitions, and that sort of vibrancy of presenting Polishness to our wider community is appreciated in Poland, and this presentation of the medal to me and to a number of other people in the community is probably just recognition of that fact.
Is there a large Polish community here in Dunedin?
Well, it's not a large community, but it's a pretty vigorous and vibrant sort of community. It's made up of three groups historically, and the amazing thing about the Polish Heritage Society, I think, is the way that it's managed to marry the earliest group of Polish settlers who came in the 1870s, long time ago, with those who came as wartime refugees in the 1940s, and others who came with the opening up of Poland in the 1980s and have continued to come here, quite a few associated with the university. So those three groups have melded together to form this Polish society and kind of rock up Polishness here. Small numbers, but big hearts.
Have the exhibitions travelled outside of Dunedin?
Well, strangely enough, actually, yes, two of them have. They were cobbled together and sent back to Poland, which some people say it's like sending coal to Newcastle, but it isn't actually, because the story of the Poles here in the southernmost place in the world where they will have settled is quite distinctive, and it was quite a privilege to be able to take that story and then send it back to Poland.
What does the recognition mean to you?
Well, to me, it's kind of humbling. You could almost say embarrassing, because I feel that I was just doing what my job entails. But it's lovely to have that community recognition. I suppose it sets the seal on the strong relationship between the Polish community, the Polish society, and the museum, and the fact that we've managed to partner up so often and so successfully to the benefit of all sides. So, to me, that's what it really represents.
Why did you choose to study the Polish heritage?
Well, it really came down to initiatives on the part of the Polish Society. They wanted to sort of do some projects, and we responded to that. The first one I think we did was about the Polish orphans who came here in 1944, and there just happened to be this elderly woman in Oamaru who was one of those orphans and who had somehow managed to hold together some amazing artefacts of her early life, because she actually left her Polish home when she was just 6 as part of a very large family who, in the subsequent, removal to Siberia and so on and so forth, most of her family died, and she was left with just one of her sisters. But all through that time, she managed to hang on to some quite amazing things, and those things form the basis of an exhibition about the orphans and about her story.
How do you think the Polish people have shaped our community?
Well, it's an interesting sort of thing to reflect on, because they've been quite small in numbers, and particularly the earliest ones. There wasn't a lot of room for non-British expressions of identity in the 19th century in New Zealand. So those people had to kind of learn to adapt. They had to learn to speak English for a start off, and they had to sort of adapt and fit in. And you'd say the same thing with the Polish orphans of the 1940s. Again, they came here and they really had to assimilate. The people who've come more recently, however, have been a bit more confident in their Polishness. So we've had, through our public programs, a lot more expression of Polish dance traditions, Polish music traditions, Polish food traditions, and that has added a lovely little flavour, a bit of a zing, if you like, to Dunedin life.
Toitu Otago Settlers Museum curator Sean Brosnahan, congratulations once again. Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you very much.